Service and deployment model of AWS. In this video, we will see 3 different types of service model and 4 different types of cloud deployment model. Shared responsibility model. The service model of AWS is also known as shared responsibility model. Why it is called shared responsibility model? Because it is shared by both AWS and the customer. The services which are shared by AWS are physical security of data center like region and the availability zone, hardware, storage device and the global infrastructure. These are all maintained by the AWS. And the services which are managed by the customer or user access, configuring security groups and the firewalls and updating the application. So these are the services managed by the customer. Here, the responsibility is equally shared between both the AWS and the customer. So that's why it's called shared responsibility model. Infrastructure as a service. In infrastructure as a service, the AWS provide the infrastructure that we can use through the internet. So it eliminates the need to manage the physical hardware by the customer. And that infrastructure include the server, storage, networking, etc. So it's completely managed and responsible by the AWS. And we only manage the software and the data in IaaS. And we only pay for the services which are used here. And example for IaaS is Amazon EC2. By using the EC2, we can create virtual server in the AWS. If we take the image here, the red color region are provided by the AWS. So these are managed by AWS and the remaining will be managed by the customer. Platform as a service. Platform as a service means it provides the ready-to-use platform, which means we don't need to manage any hardware or the operating system. We just only write and run our code. So that's why it's very useful for the web developers for developing or testing the any application. For example, Google App Engine. If we take Google App Engine means we don't need to manage its hardware or the software or operating system. We just write the code and execute our code. So that's why it's called a platform as a service. Software as a service means here there is a ready to use software which can be used over the internet. So it does not require any installation or maintenance, and we can access this over the browser like Google, Microsoft Edge or Chrome, etc. And the AWS will manage everything and we just pay for the services which are used from the AWS. For example, if we take Gmail or the YouTube, we don't need to install Gmail or YouTube. Instead, we can use this through the browser also. Deployment model. There are 4 different types of cloud deployment model. First one is public cloud. Here public cloud means it will be used by all the people in the world. So that's why it's called public cloud, and everything will be managed and owned by the AWS. We only use the services which are provided by the AWS, so that we only pay for what we use, and it is more flexible and scalable to use. For example, AWS is a public cloud. Private cloud means which is particularly used by only one organization. If the organization wants to keep their information very confidential means, then they go with private cloud. Compared to the public cloud, the private cloud gives more privacy and the security. And the private cloud can be hosted on premises or by a third party provider. Here on premises means the organization can keep the data center inside the organization, or the data center will be handed over to the third party provider like AWS or Azure. Hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud is a combination of both public cloud and the private cloud. So we can take the advantage of both the cloud. By using the public cloud, it will be helpful for large storage and we can back up the whole data here. And for to keep the sensitive information very confidential, then we can use the private cloud so that the cost is also saved and it will be more secure for us. And here also we use the services which are provided by the AWS. Multi-cloud. Multi-cloud means here we use two or more cloud providers like AWS, Azure. If we, the benefit of using multi-cloud is if the one cloud fails means we can go or work with the another cloud, and here the company can choose the services from the clouds according to their needs. So it is help to optimize the cost and performance of the services.